The man finally stepped back, but instead of walking down the steps, he moved to the side toward the window where I was standing. I jerked away from the glass. David called 911, and while he was talking to the dispatcher, I pulled up the camera app on my phone. The man was standing at the side of the house now, looking up the second floor windows. The dispatcher said a deputy was on the way, but was 20 minutes out. I kept watching the camera feed. The man walked around the back of the house, disappeared from view, then reappeared on the other side. He was circling the property slowly, like he was looking for something. David grabbed the shotgun from the closet, but didn't load it. He just held it in case. The dogs were still whining and pacing between us and the door. The man came back to the front porch and climbed the steps again. He knocked the same 3 times. David didn't answer. The man tried the doorknob, and it rattled but didn't turn. We'd locked it after the first knock. He tried it again, harder this time, jiggling it like he was testing how secure it was. Then he stopped, stood there for a moment, and walked down the steps. I thought he was leaving, but when I checked the camera, he wasn't heading toward the driveway. He was walking toward the barn where our truck was parked. We kept tools and equipment out there, and the side door didn't lock properly. David called the dispatcher back and told her the man was still on the property. She said the deputy was 10 minutes out. We watched the camera feed as the man disappeared into the barn. He was in there for maybe 2 minutes. When he came back out, he was carrying something long, like a pipe or a piece of wood. He walked back toward the house. David unlocked the door, stepped out onto the porch, and raised the shotgun without pointing it at the man. He told him he had the sheriff on the phone and a loaded gun, and he needed to get off the property now. The man stepped about 15 feet away. He looked at David, then at the gun. He sat down whatever he was carrying, and it clattered against the gravel. Then he turned around and walked down the driveway slowly, at the same pace as when he'd come up. David and I stood on the porch until the deputy arrived. The officer searched the property and found what the man had been carrying. It was a tire iron from our barn. No footprints or tire marks were leading away from the property besides the driveway. Nothing explained how he had gotten there or where he'd gone. The deputy took a report and told us to keep an eye out. That night, David and I didn't sleep. We sat in the living room with every light on, watching the security cameras. Around 3 in the morning, the motion sensor on the front camera triggered. The figure was standing at the end of the driveway, too far away to make out details, but I could see the shape of a person watching the house. David grabbed his phone to call the sheriff again, but by the time they arrived, the figure was gone. We moved out 2 months later. We told people it was for work, for a shorter commute, but the truth was, we couldn't stay.